Hello everybody, this is Qedhup with another guide. This time it's for Storm Spirit. Now, I tend to lane with Storm Spirit. I know a lot of people tend to do the mid with it, but I do like to do side lanes with them. This guide will work as well for mid, although if you're going mid, you're probably going to want to incorporate a bottle into it at some point. But I find that this particular setup works quite well for me, and although it seemed unique at the time, it is a setup I'm seeing more and more as time goes on. I think just people are realizing this is generally a good way to play Storm Spirit. Now, the starting that I usually have, I do a Sage's Mask and a Tango, and if I decide I want to, I'll throw in some Iron Branches for the extra stats in it. I don't always. It depends on whether I'm thinking of getting a wand or not. It depends on who I'm laning against. If it's going to be a Bristleback or a Bat Rider or anything that's going to use abilities a lot, I will get the Iron Branches for sure, because I'm definitely going to end up building a wand, so I'll be getting a magic stick afterwards. Otherwise, I just get the Sage's Mask and the Tango. I work these into an Oblivion Staff, because as you see with the Oblivion Staff, you get the Sage's Mask, you get the Robe of the Magi, you get the Quarterstaff, you get a lot of damage out of this, a lot of intelligence, and you'll start getting regen out of it for mana pretty good. Next thing I work towards is Arcane Boots. If you've ever played Storm Spirit, you realize he is entirely reliant on his mana pool. He is his mana pool. He needs mana constantly. This is why I start with the regen. This is why I go into the Arcane Boots as soon as I can. After this, it's nice to have a little bit of health regen. This is eventually going to work into your Lincoln Sphere, although not right away, but it is good. I usually get the Ring of Health at this point, 875 gold. At this point, especially with Storm Spirit, you're probably not going to have too hard a time with last hits, or at least you shouldn't be. So I find the Ring of Health fairly cheap purchase, but it really helps you in the laning phase, because you should be able to get all of this early game in the laning phase. At least I normally do. I usually get pretty good feed at this point, as long as you're laned with a support, and the support's doing their job by backing off and giving you those last hits. Now, once you've got your Ring of Health, you got your boots here, you're going to be working towards your Orchid. This is one of the primary things for Storm Spirit. This is the reason that his new Immortal item that's just been released for the TI4 Compendium is shaped like the Orchid Malevolence. This is pretty much a standard thing to get on him now. You get attack speed, you get damage, you get intelligence, you get mana regen, not to mention you silence them and amplify the damage they take. This is a beautiful item to get on him. You go in and you incorporate this into everything that you're doing, and you're going to get guaranteed kills, especially on the squishies, time and time again. Now, you unfortunately can get locked down very easily. You rely on your abilities. If you get stunned or silenced, you're going to have a bad time. This is where the Lincoln Sphere comes in. Not only are you going to get even more regen out of it, which is always useful for Storm Spirit, but the Lincoln Sphere, of course, has the spell block, which you're going to need. You get someone like Silencer, or someone that's going to be doing a directed silence, even if they have, say, an Orchid Malevolence. They're going to put it on you. It's going to pop the Lincoln Sphere, and that'll be key. Oh, my Lincoln Sphere's gone. Time to ball out of here. Now, once again, more mana regen. Always a good thing on Storm Spirit. Scythe of Vice. You can pop in, you can Scythe of Vice them, then you can hit your Orchid, then you can start doing your chained combos, and just, if you find someone alone, it's great. They're going to die instantly. If you don't find someone alone, that's fine too. You can now stun someone and sheep the other person. Not a problem. Situational items. The bottle. If you are going to be going mid, you're going to want to incorporate the bottle. You probably, I would say, depending on who you're fighting against, maybe not want to get the Iron Branches, save up, get the bottle before you finish off the Oblivion Staff. In fact, if you're going to go the bottle route and you know you're going to go mid, you might not even want to get the Sage's Mask. Just get the Tango, save the rest of your money, work up towards the bottle. Or if you got a really, really nice support, and I'm seeing this more and more in the pro games, you can not buy anything and hopefully get the support to just give you a couple of tangos. You can go in, buy the bottle super, super quick. BKBs, they're useful in all games, really, especially if there's a lot of various abilities being thrown at you. If they're auto attackers, it doesn't matter so much. Auto attackers you can usually get around. You can just ball away and no problem. However, once again, those abilities that can lock you down, the stuns, things like that, that's where you're having the issues. The Lincoln Sphere, even after it pops, I mean, that's only going to block one of them, right? If they have a whole bunch of them or area of effect stuff, the BKB, that's where it comes in useful. And, you know, the extra health from it, the extra damage, that's all worth it. Now, for starting abilities, I find one in the Static Remnant right off the bat just gives you that little extra damage, no biggie. And then the Overload, because this is how you're going to, between the Static Remnant and the Overload, you're going to be getting a lot of your damage out of it. To just go over this again, Static Remnant leaves the image of you behind, it explodes, does a fair amount of damage, 140 at level 1 just for a little thing there. That's pretty good damage. Then your Overload, your next attack's going to do an extra amount of damage. In this case, at level 2, you'll be doing an extra 30 damage on your hit, and you're slowing them 80%. And this is an explosion, so it hits things around them. By level 3, I'll make sure to get at least one level in the Electric Vortex to stun them. This is important just in case during the lightning phase you can lock someone down to try and get that early game kill, because the three of these work together quite well. Because remember, your Overload works with every ability that you do whenever you cast a spell. So you can Static Remnant, Overload, Electric Vortex, and Overload again. Then as you're pulling them in, this might have actually gone down. It's only 3.5 cooldown. You might be able to Static Remnant and an Overload again, all in one combo. Beautiful. So Overload, very, very important. Get that up as fast as you can. You can see right here by 5th level I've got level 3 in it, which means I'm doing an extra 70 damage on a hit. And as you can see right off the bat, without anything here, I am doing over 50 damage. Now I'm going to get bonus damage from Drow, just ignore that, but I'm doing 50 damage. So this really stacks up to pretty good damage right away. Of course, get your ball lightning whenever you can. This is not only a great initiation, but it's your great escape as well. Follow everything that we have here, and I find this is a well-rounded Storm Spirit. Works out quite well for me in the games. I don't normally have an issue. It's a fairly simple way to build the Storm Spirit, and however, you're going to need a lot of practice because he's not a simple character to play. So, practice with it, follow this build, and I'm sure you'll have good luck. Alright, bye.